Sometimes in gaming, you have one of those digital experiences that sticks with you, just like it was a real-life event. You remember everything about it, the feelings that it gave you, how much fun you had doing it, how immersive the experience was. Well, that's what Operation Desert Spear was for me. This is the culmination of months of study and training in DCS world. Operation Desert Spear. Tensions have risen between the US and Iran after Soleimani's death. Iran didn't hesitate to retaliate and overrun the US embassy, leading to an immediate response by the United States of America. In a joint operation between the US Navy and the Marine Corps, you will lead Aero Flight, a two-ship of F-18s deep into Iranian airspace, where you will employ strategic weapons to defeat critical Iranian aircraft and equipment. All credit to my friend Willfos, who designed this mission. A link to his channel can be found below. At the onset of the mission, we find ourselves sitting aboard the Abraham Lincoln. Ahead of us, we can see Dodge Flight preparing to launch and begin their suppression of enemy air defense mission. We also have our AWACS preparing to launch and go up into the overhead and provide situational awareness for the duration of the mission. As the rest of the strike package clears the flight deck, my wingman and I spend a few minutes to program our bombs, make sure our avionics are tuned, aircraft lighting is set as we prefer, and that all of our navigation systems are ready to take us all the way to the target. After we've completely configured our aircraft, we taxi to catapults 2 and 3 and begin the operation. Once airborne, our first order of business is to top off our fuel tanks. We have 2 external tanks, both of which are completely dry, and we're going to need all the fuel that we could possibly get in order to get all the way to the target. 27,000 feet.
Ready, recontact. Cleared contact. Contact. You're taking fuel. Transfer complete.
Thank the Lord. That's the longest I've ever been on the hose, ever. Unfortunately, I was stricken by a typical DCS bug, and my wingman refused to take gas from the tanker. I took the opportunity to simulate that he had a mechanical issue and allowed him to go ahead and return to the carrier. But now I found myself as a single ship, now completely alone. After getting full up on gas, I turned north and began heading towards the target, taking careful note of my FPass page and then climbing to the appropriate altitude and setting my speed in the most fuel efficient way possible so that I could stretch my legs and ensure that I made it all the way to the target with enough gas to get all the way home. As I arrived at my second waypoint, Dodge Flight came up on the net and confirmed that they had completed their mission, the destruction of 2 SA-10 sites in vicinity of the target area. The seed flight was successful. They punched a hole in the enemy's air defense, and it was up to me to get bombs on target. Dodge confirms 4 SA-10 south of Kerman have been destroyed. We're green to continue pushing. We're 45 miles from waypoint 2. Once we hit waypoint 2, we'll turn just a little bit further east and head up towards the target area. We expect that there could be some sort of combat air patrol in the vicinity of waypoint 3. And there we go. Confirmed. Sam is down. We are green to push. Down a wingman, expecting to be intercepted at some point potentially. As I continued north, AWACS came up on the net and notified me of a pair of MiG-29s that had been identified far to my west, about 100 miles off. Unfortunately, based on their speed, they were going to be able to intercept me somewhere around the target area. I had a decision to make. I could retreat and live to fight another day. I could attempt to push to the target and get my weapons off before I was intercepted by the MiGs, but then risk them approaching me from the rear, or I could turn into the MiGs and fight. They had me outnumbered 2-1, but I had 2 AIM-120s, and I decided to turn into the MiGs and defeat the threat so that I could complete my mission. Turning in. Fox 3 selected. Track while scan. Out to 60. HIMIX on. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Fuel is on left inner and right inner. Tanks are off. Two Fox 3's got a splash 1. Second Fox 3 is out. 9 miles. Transitioning to Fox 2. Still in burner. Chasing. Fox 2. No trap. Oh, he's dead. Alright, gotta get out of here. Coming up, coming off the burner. Turning back into waypoint 4. Fuel's a concern now. I'm getting to get high as I can. Sloppy, but it got done. Configuring for ground attack. That short MiG-29 fight was the first 1v2 I had ever had in DCS World, and by some miracle I managed to survive it. After I managed to knock both of those bandits out of the sky, I turned back, nose on target, got back to the optimal drop altitude, and prepared to release my bombs on the airfield. 10 seconds till we are in the zone. We are in range. I'm just giving it a moment to make sure we are in the LAR. And pre-plan 1, pickle. Pre-plan 2, pickle. And coming back over to our You're playing one. Coming back onto target. And pickle. And 2. Pickle. Now we are going to egress. With all my AGM-154 joint standoff weapons off of my aircraft, en route to target, and having good effects on the airfield, I turned away and began heading south towards my egress waypoint, waypoint 12. To be honest, I was feeling pretty defenseless. All I had left on my airframe was one AIM-9X. I didn't have any of my AIM-120s, I had already jettisoned both my fuel tanks, and there was no more bombs on the aircraft. As I flew south, I was more fuel efficient, but I was still on my own, and completely vulnerable. That's when suddenly AWACS came back up on the radio and notified me of another bandit that had been located somewhere off to the west yet again, this time a MiG-21. It appeared to me that I'd be able to avoid the bandit altogether, so I continued south. After all, I didn't have a lot of gas to play with, and I only had one missile left, and I sure enough didn't want to get into a guns fight. Oh shit. Pop-up MiG, close. As I approached the coast at the 11th hour, sure enough, the bandit came onto my scope, inside 40 miles. I had no choice but to turn into him. He was approaching my tanker and my AWACS, and I was the only fighter in between him and those other airframes. So the only option was to defend those aircraft with my own and see if I could make that one AIM-9X I had left on board find its mark. Going 0.9? Maybe I can. I don't think I can. Here we go, boys. What do you do with one AIM-9 in a dream? Low altitude. Nose on. I think I'm clear. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. My God. All right, get back on course, get back on course. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. All right, so I went head on, put it into burners. I only had one AIM-9. I didn't have any radar guided missiles. I locked him up, watched my RWR to see if he would launch on me. I was staring at him to make sure that I was aware of like when he might shoot at me. I got to where I was confident my single AIM-9 would hit, and I slung the missile at, I think I freaking Fox 2'd at 2 miles. Oh my God. I'm slick, boys. Nothing is on this jet. All my missiles are gone. All my freaking bombs are gone. I soloed it. Oh my gosh. Those are my first 3 solo air-to-air kills that aren't just practice drones in this game, period. Gas is starting to become a concern, I guess. I just gotta fly now. Now it's just about aviation. having somehow managed to yet again beat the odds and escape death, if only by inches. I turned back towards the south, located the tanker once again on my TACAN, and began navigating to Arco. I was going to need a full tank to make sure I had enough attempts to transit all the way to the carrier and attempt a Case 3, as fog had came into the low-lying areas. Jesus, look at this freaking fog. That's an intimidating prospect, man. Two refuels, strike, dogfight, 2 ship MiGs destroyed. All we gotta do now is go home. 46 miles to waypoint 3. With a full tank of gas, I went ahead and continued towards the carrier. I came up on the horn with Mother, received my final recovery heading, my reciprocal azimuth, and planned my Case 3, entering the Marshall stack at 10,000 feet, 25 nautical miles off the reciprocal, and entering my orbit.
Marshall 301, marking maps 328-445, Angels 10, state 6.6.
301, Courage Marshall, Case 3 recovery, CV1 approach, expect final bearing 107, altimeter is 29093, 301, Marshall.
Wheels, flaps, hook, that'll all happen once we're in the pattern. Anti-skid is set to off because we're on the carrier. Harness is good. Dispenser, gonna go ahead and go to save weapons. Save, take it out of air to ground mode. Aircraft weight is 36,000 pounds and falling. No concerns there. Hook will go down momentarily. You know, I don't think I'm ever going to get used to the Case 3. The thing feels like a controlled crash all the way in. You're flying blind, you lack situational awareness, but you just got to trust the instruments, and I've definitely got a little bit better at it. Slowing it down to 250 knots, turning left to come to 115 here in just a second. I am at 10,000 HEL, flying TACAN to 25 nautical. Then we'll come left into our racetrack and come out on the reciprocal. Wings level 115, flying to 30 nautical miles TACAN, then coming left onto final recovery heading 295. Commencing. Engines idle, descent rate 4,000 feet per second, maintaining 250 knots. And that is our platform call.
301, platform. 301, roger. 301, fly bullseye. 301, final radar contact, 8 miles. 301. On bypass, on course, 3/4 of a mile, call the ball. 301, Hornet ball, 0.6. Roger ball, 26 knots, down angle. Fly the ball. You're on the glide slope.
Oh, my frames. Wire 4 frames just absolutely shitting the bed. I wish that there was a more cinematic finish to that. I'm sorry, but I caught it, man. I just lost Lost frames here at the end. Good lord, what a freaking rush. All right, hook up. Wings. Folded, nose wheel steering, engaged, hand on high, clearing. Operation Desert Spear. Mission complete. That was one of the most rewarding things that I have ever done in any game or simulation, ever. That was incredible. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you just saw, I'd appreciate it if you took the time now to subscribe. I'm Controlled Pairs. I play the most immersive PC games in the world. This is DCS World, and I'll see you in the next one.